Здравейте на всички зрители на BG7 TV. Аз съм Мартина Дечевска и в днешния епизод на New Yorkers Talk About ще попитам нюйоркчани тук на Рузвелт Айланд, малкото островче, намиращо се между Куинс и Манхатън в Ист Ривър, какво мислят за състоянието на американската икономика в момента. What can you say about the American economy today?
What can I say about it? NPR says that the unemployment rate is doing better. On a whole, I don't really think about it that much because I have a job, so it doesn't affect me. I know that it's hard to get a job in New York City. The economy, I don't think about it that much unless they're talking about it on the radio.
I think it could be much better. I think that many people that are coming out of college now are having trouble finding jobs that will allow them to move out of their parents' house and pay off their loans at the same time. So definitely a lot of room for improvement.
Well, it's a broad question, but the American economy today, we're better than we were, but not where we need to be. So I think we've made, incremental, increases in job growth, but we still have a long way to go, and it's going to be a long ride to get there.
In recent weeks, we've had, stock market highs. In terms of general economy, I think, unemployment's down slightly. Seeing somewhat of a resurgence of jobs back, in the average American households. However, we still have a lot of different areas in which we can improve. I think that we've made strides in the medical field, education field, a lot of the services that many people come to America for. In terms of industry, I think we are somewhat lacking. We do have a dependence on other countries, especially for, oil and whatnot. I think about half our oil comes from Canada right now. But I think we're on track for improvement.
I think the state we're living in, I think it's expensive. Very expensive.
Did the 2008 economic crisis impact your life?
Yeah, I think it impacted everyone's life really, in terms of really hurting job growth. I mean, I was just reading today or yesterday that we've recovered all of the jobs since then, but we should have 7 million more jobs now based on population growth alone. So, yeah, I think it's affected not only me, but pretty much everyone that's living here.
No, because I was in college, so I wasn't part of the job market. If I had been living in New York City at the time, maybe.
Well, it did, as it did everyone, I think, in the United States and internationally. Personally and directly, I was fortunate in that my parents both did not lose their jobs, so my home life was still stable, and in my neighborhood and surrounding area. But across the country, I mean, you just can't help but be affected either through interest rates or student loans, and has a ripple effect that everyone's impacted by.
No, not really.
Absolutely, it did. I was just in my second year of school at that point, college, and it drastically changed job prospects. Companies really had to buckle down. Many people lost their jobs. It also created this huge need for these staffing agencies, which are somewhat predatory in that they, look for the disenfranchised people who've been affected by the downturn, and create a situation in which, people can essentially be leased, and they don't really see much of the money, and it creates a beneficial situation for companies in which they can, just get people for, cents on the dollar.
Are you worried about the size of the American government debt and the printing of huge amounts of US dollars?
Yes, I am very much worried because right now it is no money here and we're paying all this high rent and it's no money and it's going up and up and up and up and there's no place to live and there's a lot of homeless people out here and there's no money to house these people. But then when you go look for an apartment, the apartments are very, very, very expensive. So it's just too much.
I'm not too concerned about the U.S.'s debt right now because we've been operating on debt for decades, and I think that austerity doesn't really lead us into growth right now. In fact, it's hurting us a lot. So obviously no debt is better than having debt, but I don't think that should be the number one talking point right now. I think we should focus on some growth.
Yeah, there's that clock in Union Square that ticks down, and someone once told me that it's the debt clock, but I don't know if that's true.
Yes, it's unsustainable. You can't just keep printing money. It doesn't work that way. You need some kind of a backing. We're in such deep debt with China. We'll never see, we'll never come above that. I think there could be other ways if, America can develop, some new technologies and whatnot on our own soil. Other than that, until we stop our, depending on other countries, it'll be very difficult to get out of that hole.
I am. Certainly am concerned with the American debt. I think, the way we've kind of gotten to a cycle where we have to keep borrowing in order to keep performing. And that's a trap we're in, and I don't really know if we're ever going to get out of that. And I think it's just going to be something that future generations are going to have to find innovative ways to restructure programs and services in order to try to bring that debt down.
What do you need in order to feel yourself financially secure?
I think a job that allows you to afford your basic needs, your shelter, clothing, shirts with sleeves, that sort of thing. And then, just recreation in general. But, essentially you're just looking for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I think at this time, many of the youth coming out of college think, you're in a situation where you have to return home, and in many cases your parents didn't have to do that. It was, a preference if they did. But at this time, it's more beneficial for our youth to save for a number of years and then sort of, strike out on your own.
I have a job. I guess I assume that they won't fire me, but I don't really know that for sure. I guess I would like to have some money saved. I would like to be able to know that I could retire at some point, and right now I don't have that at all because I've never saved any money, and I don't have a 401k or anything.
So financial security for me would be freedom from student debt, which I have some. Fortunately not a whole lot, but enough that it's on my mind. As well as having, being self-sufficient, apartment, home, car, good paying job, and a good means of retirement savings.
Oh wow! Well, for me, I need like 3 jobs, to catch up because, like I said, everything is expensive here. So what you need is to have a good education and a good job. And if you don't have that, I think you need to start working on it.
I would say I need to be able to pay off my loans. Just coming out of college 3 years ago, we still have them. And I'm not even in the worst situation as a lot of people I know. And I would like to be able to pay off loans and be able to move out of my parents' house and live on my own and, not live extravagantly, but at least be able to live comfortably and be working at a job that I enjoy and not having to take something that I wasn't very interested in just to get by, which is what's happened to a lot of people coming out of college now.
Are you optimistic about the American economy in the next few years?
I am optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic about the American economy in the upcoming years. I think if we look at the past few years, we've had an incline on growth, but we all know the economy is cyclical, so there are going to be bumps along the way. But I do think 5 years from now, we'll be better off than where we were 5 years ago.
I'd say so. Looks like we're making advances in the technology sector, medical fields, whatnot. If we can get some industry back here, that'd be great too. So I'd say I'm hopeful. Yes.
I would say yeah. Yeah.
Things are gonna get better.
I hope so. Hope so. It looks like it's trying to get better.
I don't think so, because what's going to change? The corporations are only getting bigger. They pay their workers less. Everyone talks about the decline of the middle class. And structurally, there's so much momentum towards the direction of larger corporations rather than a market where small businesses can exist. So I just don't see how there's going to be any way to stop that movement unless somebody does some crazy drastic thing, which seems impossible to do given American politics.
I don't know. I'm not overly optimistic. I think things are getting better, but I also think that the things that have led us to what got us on track to, the fallout of where we are now with the recession, I think those are still in play. I mean, I think that those mechanisms are still in place, and basically not much has changed that got us in this mess in the first place. So I think things are getting better, but I'm not saying that it can't ever happen again. So cautiously optimistic at best, I would say.